Just working with our company, you're going to get to work with a lot of bright individuals.
Everyone is open and ready to help you, and definitely big on advocating for making sure that you succeed and reach your potential.
Everyone's goal is the same, to make the best products that we can for our clients and make sure that it is everything and more that it could be.
What's kept me here? Our culture. We're genuinely a very great group of people. Everyone's just always willing to lend a hand.
When I have a suggestion or a concern and I voice it, leadership actually hears me.
As a consultancy, every person has a role and has something to bring to the table. There's just a lot of opportunities here if you're up for the challenge.
Jump on board, be part of the fun ride, because we're going places.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
Thanks to you. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Hey, Indiana, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all the reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome once again to high school football on Indiana SRN tonight here at Veterans Stadium on the campus of Beech Grove High School. It's the Cougars of Greenfield Central and the Hornets of Beech Grove. Great to have you with us tonight. Troy Darigowski along with Craig Cox. And before we go along any further, we have a moment of silence for a longtime employee and voice of Beech Grove who recently passed away. A moment of silence. Well, I tell you what, we're ready to go here in this opening game of the football season this evening. As we mentioned, we're at Beech Grove High School, and before we go along any further, once again, we'll take a moment for tonight's national anthem.
Playing the national anthem is our very own Beech Grove High School marching band. Presenting the colors is Beech Grove High School JROTC Hornet Battalion. The lead rifle is Cadet Private First Class Kaylee Cannon. The national colors is carried by Cadet First Sergeant Greg Woods. The Indiana State Gary Woods. I apologize. The Indiana State flag is carried by Cadet Major Caitlin Holly. The Beech Grove School flag is carried by Cadet Staff Sergeant Hayden Knight. The trio rifle is Cadet Sergeant Haley Brown. Commanding the color guard is Cadet Sergeant Major Christopher Walden. The Beech Grove Army JROTC instructor is Lieutenant Colonel Eden.
Tonight's national anthem by the Beech Grove High School Marching Band. Want to remind you that tonight's game here on IndianaSRN is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is a leading equipment dealer since 1955. Passion to Care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. Boilermaker Local 374, where they represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction as well as metal fabrication in the state of Indiana. Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. Burtner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. The Morales Group, we're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Northwestern Mutual, inspiring people to repeatedly take action on their financial goals. Indiana Laborers District Council, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Laborers District Council, as well as affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. And the IndianaSRN sports page. Follow the sports page daily with updated sports news coast to coast. Go to IndianaSRN.org and click on the sports page tab. Well, as mentioned earlier, Troy Nargowski along with Craig Cox. It is a brand new season. We've gone, Craig, through all the polls. We've done all the watch lists. We've done all of the all-staters from a year ago. I think we've covered about everything, so we're kind of ready to kick things off tonight. And for Beech Grove, a great test tonight in a Greenfield Central team who we'll talk about extensively, had a great year 1 year ago.
No, well, I mean, across the state. I mean, you got over 400 teams participating now, over 200 games. What better way to kick it off? We have fantastic weather. I'll tell you what, both these teams, just like everyone else, are ready to line up against somebody else other than a teammate tonight. Very anxious, I'm sure, to get things kicking off. And what a beautiful facility, and a shout out to the Beech Grove administration for just that.
Well, let's talk about Greenfield Centrals. We will scout the Cougars tonight. They went 9-2 last year, Craig, their best season since 1975. Unfortunately for them, they ended up having to play New Pal twice last year. Those that were their 2 losses. But they've got a great core of players back, including their quarterback.
No, I mean, they're coming in on preseason at number 5. Coach Nolting has done a wonderful job. He's had a short stint there, just 6 years, and has really changed a lot of the culture. Had a few Division I prospects that went out last year as well. And you're right, Troy. They had 2 losses, both to New Pal. Played them much tougher during the regular season as opposed to sectionals. Always a tough foe. But coming out of the Hoosier Heritage Conference, and again, they're primed and ready to go and have a great season again this year.
Dallas Freeman, one of the keys. And when you have a team coming back, Craig, you know this. You love to have a veteran quarterback, and they have a veteran quarterback. Freeman, pretty much an all-stater last year, threw for over 1,444 yards and 19 touchdowns, but he can also run the football.
He can. I mean, he's a dual threat, but he's also the great thing about what I like about Dallas, he's very cerebral. He's a thinker. He goes through his progressions and reads, does a really good job, had the opportunity to do a game of his last year, you love that as a coaching staff to be able to have that. The unfortunate thing is this is senior year, so they're starting to groom someone else. But the great thing about it is he's got 9 games going forward for this year.
Now, he runs the football, but they got a couple other guys in there that can run the football as well, so Beech Grove defensively will have their hands full against a good running attack.
No, they will. I mean, it's Cooper Hinton and then Braylon Benavente as well. Braylon had over 600 yards and rushing last year. If you recognize that Hinton name, his brother last year was one of the top 50 in the IHSAA and went on to West Point. So he's taken over there in terms of a little bit on the safety side with the defense, but he is one of their 2 double-head running backs.
And if you look at a wide receiver, Boston Willard last year, 24 receptions. If they want to throw the football, I'm sure he'll be one of the big targets this year.
No, he will. And, I mean, the thing is that they do a fantastic job, at least of last year, having great balance. This is a team that runs the flex bone on offense, a 3-3 stack on defense. They average almost 400 yards of total offense. And it's great balance. Last year it was 132, but they were heavy on the run with right at 260 a game. So kind of a ground and pound, but good balanced team.
2 big offensive linemen, Colton Robertson, 6'7", 300, only a sophomore. Ryan Lee, 6'3", 265 at a sophomore. So really a couple of big horses up front.
They do. I mean, the line itself, they're returning a lot of players with good game experience, which you really can't substitute. But at the same time, a good core of that is right up front with the Hawks.
Talk about Beech Grove. They have a new head coach. They went 5-6 last year. They did pick up a sectional win, their first since 2020. But now new offense, new defense coming in, and they've got a freshman quarterback they look to.
Yeah, I mean, there's a changing of the guard, and a lot of that is when you come in, you got to establish that right away in the summer with summer lifts, changing the culture, getting the kids to buy in. It's always a shift. More so for the student athletes than it is for coaches. Coaches coach, but when they're in that position and you have some young men, teenagers trying to adapt to that, little different schematics. But the biggest thing with them has to be about execution and owning your assignment. Coach had talked earlier about, I heard in an interview, that we want to be at 70% execution before we add more to the playbook.
Okay.
So they're in positions where there's kind of a changing of the guard, but expect some good things after him leading Crystal House Manual last year, which was his first head job after serving as an assistant at LC.
Well, we mentioned Bishop Moore, 6'5", and a freshman, watching him throw a little bit ago. It's nice to have a kid 6'5", a little bit skinny right now, but he'll put on some weight. He's going to be good in the next 4 years. But you have Jeremiah Lee as your running back. It's nice to have a guy, a veteran like that can kind of take some of the pressure off.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that had over 1,600 yards last year in terms of rushing, had 20 touchdowns. I mean, he's making things happen. And what a great thing for Coach Mosley to be able to have a guy that can come under your tutelage for 4 years that you have him to work with. So that's exciting, but at the same time, it's also maybe a little bit concerning how he might come out as a freshman. So that'll be something to watch here as we get tonight underway.
Well, let's talk about keys to the game as you see it going into this one this evening.
Well, I think we just talked a little bit about Beech Grove side. I mean, one, They're in their home stadium. Great way to kick it off. Got a great crowd on hand, great weather, but it's about execution. It's about owning their assignments. Obviously, any game and every game, outside even the first, is minimizing your mental mistakes and the turnovers, but certainly on the penalty side. If you look at Greenfield Central, they have a little bit more established culture with Coach Nolting being around for 6 years. The kids understand the system, not only now that we're in the season, but the off season in the summer. So they understand that routine, and they've been here and done that. And so it's one of those things to not allowing the game or the moment to become really bigger than what it is.
Let me ask you real quick, with Bishop Moore being the starting quarterback, being a freshman, if you're Greenfield Central, you always kind of think about, should we go after him a little bit more than you normally would?
Yeah, a lot of times you'll look to rattle somebody that might not have the experience. But you know, it's going to be great growing moments for that. And the thing that you hope and wish for is where your senior leadership comes into play and you rally around a young guy like that can be in a position to be able to help propel this team forward.
Jeremiah Lee, number 29, a senior, will be back along with Lacey Stevens. A wide receiver will be back to receive the kick. And we are ready to go on this one here tonight. Opening night, we'll have scores for you probably around halftime into the second half of all the other games going on. 4 games on IndianaSRN here tonight. There will be a return inside the 15. We are underway. The cutback across the 25 out to about the 27, maybe 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, we get the 2024 season underway. Certainly just a shout-out not only these two teams, but these two communities, but across the state of Indiana for just a great, great season. Nothing, not taking anything away from any sports, but nothing is like football where it brings community together. Friday Night Lights. We got towns that shut down in the nights to be able to come out and support these student athletes in educational-based athletics.
Light football will be at the 28-yard line. First possession now for Beech Grove. We'll talk about some of the other big games going on tonight when we get an opportunity, and believe me, there are a lot of big games. Bishop Moore, the freshman, into the sun in their first possession. They'll run the football and they'll hand it off to Lee, and he goes nowhere. Shooting the gap big time. Looked like that might have been Jake Van Osdal.
Well, a lot of that is those guys in the trenches up front. Great penetration and pursuit there. And then even on top of that, making the open field tackle, because certainly Lee is not one easy to bring down.
So they're going to call that a loss of 6 yards. So we'll put it at the 22-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down just underway. You see the freshman quarterback Bishop Moore making his way into the huddle. We mentioned Jeremiah Lee, 5'10", 185, and a senior. We'll see Saul Hernandez carry the football tonight as well. So 2nd down, Lee will be the setback just to the left of your quarterback. His first throw of the night, and it'll be dropped. Pass intended over the middle there for Lacey Stevens, and it falls incomplete.
Well, I like the call there, just running a quick slant, trying to get some of what they just lost there on 1st down back. Was just a little bit ahead of him to be able to make that as we get to 3rd and 16.
So it's going to be 3rd and 16, as Craig just mentioned moments ago. First varsity throw there for Bishop Moore, the freshman quarterback at Beech Grove. So big 3rd down play right here for the Hornets. See the football on the hash mark to the near side. Greenfield hoping to get good field position here. Lee on the carry, trying to bounce it at the outside. He cannot do so. That defense for Greenfield Central, very good early, as now to be 4th down and long, and they'll have to punt it away. So not a good start for Beech Grove offensively, but it again is just your first series.
Well, that, and again, as I mentioned about the moment not becoming too big and Greenfield Central, it's one thing you just want to be able to take this. You're right. It is just one series. They'll try to regroup, make some adjustments. A lot of it will be just how they protect him more on the pass in the pocket as well as for Lee out of the backfield.
Back to punt will be Andy Fonseca. Here comes the rush. He drops the football. It is loose inside the 5 into the end zone and recovered by Greenfield Central. And in there to recover that one, number 22, Cody Smith on special teams, and an early mistake by the Hornets cost him 6.
Well, I mean, if you're obviously Coach Mosley, it's not the way you want to start your coaching career, but it's one of those things where these things will happen, and you got to be able to bounce back from these. But what a great start defensively with 3 and out for Greenfield, and then obviously with the botch snap to be able to put 6 on the board on the defensive or special team side.
So an early mistake at 10:04, the opening period of play. Ball's going to be snapped, and they're going to try to go for 2 right here and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Peyton Foley. It wasn't pretty, but it was good enough to get 2 on the board. Cougars lead it 8-0.
To you. Standing with us. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Back here at Beech Grove, game 1. 4 games again tonight on IndianaSRN. 5 games coming up next week, including that Brownsburg and Cathedral game. It'll be played at Marian University. Kicking things off will be Zach Blevins once again. It'll be Lee at about his 10. Lee to the outside 20. Able to get away from a tackle at the sideline, and then is out of bounds before the tackle. See where he stepped out at about the 31-yard line. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment, a leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors in Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give them a call at 317-849-0810.
A great return there by Lee. Got about 21 yards on the return, and what it obviously does for Beech Grove as well is putting them in a position along with their freshman quarterback Bishop Moore, a little bit more breathing room and hoping for better starting position here.
So first down and 10. Put the football around the 36-yard line. Bishop Moore puts Lee in motion. The swing pass to Lee out on the flat, tries to break a tackle. Get about a yard on that one. So it'll be second down and long. They'll say just a gain of 1.
Well, and that's the thing they'll need to try to do is if Greenfield Central is getting a lot of push and getting good penetration up the A gaps, it might be a long night for Lee. What you want to do is be able to get him out in the flats like that, open space. He's very agile and shifty to be able to break some of these tackles.
I'll tell you what, Zach Blevins, who was the kicker a little bit ago, one of those in on the tackle, 6'3", 235. Peyton Foley, 6'2", 235, 2 very good and big linebackers for Greenfield Central. By the way, Greenfield Central will now head to the sidelines, as will Beech Grove. We've got a timeout, 9:07. Want to remind you that tonight's game brought to you in part by the Morales Group. We're in business to create a better future for you, your family, and for the community we share. We can match you with the right career or hire the right candidate for your company. If you'd like more information, contact the Morales Group, 317-472-7600. And also by Boilermaker Local 374, where they represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction, as well as metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. When you need a safe, dependable workforce for a new build, an upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Boilermaker Local 374 to do the job right the first time. Good crowd on hand here tonight on both sides. By the way, other games tonight, Cathedral is on the road at Ben Davis. Westfield at Center Grove. Chittard is at Brebeuf. We'll check out more of those games in a moment. Quarterback Moore will roll, pumps, and then throws. Has a man caught, first down, and out of bounds on the near side, Lacey Stevens.
Like 15 yards on the pass play there. Great job of being able to float that over the top. Good read getting out of the pocket, using his feet a little bit to shorten up that throw.
Also tonight, Hamilton Southeastern is at Fort Wayne Carroll. Warren Central at Fort Wayne Snyder. Lawrence North and Lawrence Central doing battle tonight. Fort Wayne Dwenger is at Brownsburg. Carmel home tonight against Homestead. And Avon at Lafayette Jeff. First down for the Hornets. Hand off to Lee. Lee over the left side will get about 3 on the play.
Cougars there were showing a blitz. And got a guy's hand off there to Lee to be able to take it. Looks like for about 3. Well, they actually give him 2.
They'll put the football at the 47-yard line. Tristan Lanham in there, 5'11", 215, one of the defensive linemen for Greenfield Central.
A lot of times what you'll see Greenfield do is they run that 3-3 stack, kind of in a nickel D as well, with 5 corners for coverage, and at times rushing 2 of those.
First penalty flag. This will go against Beech Grove, and that's going to move them back 5 yards. Procedure is the call here. You know, the thing about what football is in Hancock County now is amazing. We think about New Pal, Greenfield Central, Mount Vernon, Eastern Hancock, even in a smaller class. It's just a lot of good football teams.
Yeah, 15 years ago, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it wasn't like that at all.
Now it's loaded. Well, you got more people moving out of the city into the suburbs as well.
True. Handoff Lee, and he'll go nowhere. Might even lose a yard.
Well, certainly some things that Beech Grove, even early on here, has to make some adjustments just from a technique standpoint. Greenfield Central certainly having some great success with pursuit and firing these gaps pretty quickly into their backfield.
Cooper Hinton gets the credit for the tackle. Their linebackers are about as good as anybody. You're going to see this early in the year.
Well, we noted earlier as well, Hinton last year was a guy that is now at West Point, was a top 50 recruit.
And deservedly so. It'll be 3rd down and 14. Saul Hernandez sets up in the slot. They'll look to throw. Ball's going to be caught at the 50. It's going to be well shy of a first down on the reception. That was Saul Hernandez, the senior, 5'8", 116. It'll be 4th down.
Well, Greenfield Central certainly, their pursuit to the ball, they're owning their assignments. They got a nose for the ball, and they've shown that here early on.
Well, the last time we saw Andy Fonseca come into punt, took his eye off the football, it cost him the touchdown, and then, of course, the 2-point conversion. Inside the 20-yard line for Greenfield Central to attempt the return will be James Leary, and we have another stoppage of play here. And they're sending one of the Beech Grove players to the sideline.
Well, it looks like they even had 12. You usually don't see. Oh no, they did. At first, I was like, man, I've never seen an official let them know that they had 12 on the field, because I was counting 12. But
Frankie Wellbrenner, number 10, was out there. He came off. I don't know if it was an equipment issue. Here comes the rush. It'll be a short kick by Fonseca, and it hits one of the up men. It's going to be Beech Grove football no matter what. The flag is down. And that should be against Beech Grove.
Might have been a halo call there, not giving him room to receive it, which it was really late coming out. So what's made me wonder if they were going to actually flag it. But it is down there, and that is what we're anticipating.
Well, Coach, we're going to see for the first time Dallas Freeman tonight. Talked about his numbers early and how good this offense can be. Hornets defense is going to really have to play well tonight to keep them out of the end zone any further.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been antsy to get on the field, but, you got to be thankful when your special teams is putting up points as well on your first defensive side of the ball. But, The thing is, this is a young man that threw for 1,500 yards last year, 20 touchdowns. He's a thinker. He reads through his progressions really well. Got a good body to him, about 6'2", and one that certainly is an athletic that can hurt you a little bit with his feet as well.
Mentioned last year a football team that ran the ball at 259 yards per game, 132 yards through the air, so they will pound it when need be. Resetting will be Hinton.
And they will spread you out, too, as you can already see here.
High snap, the handoff, and the run over the left side. That'll be Benevente. Braylon Benevente, 5'8", 185, and a junior on the carry.
Well, and don't let his size fool you. He's a hard runner, kind of downhill, but certainly doesn't have that body that looks or appears that. Really runs hard between the tackles as well.
Landon Ford is the receiver to the near side. Looking to throw will be Freeman. Ball's going to be caught at the 50, first down and out of bounds on the far side. Nice throw by Freeman. And on the reception, number 19, James Leary.
Well, and he's one there, about 11 yards on that play. One that have their quick outs, and he gets rid of it quick as well, throwing with good velocity on the ball also.
Taking a look at it on the replay, and Leary able to get a couple of extra yards after the reception, so it'll be first down football at the 46. Freeman has time, loses the football, and it may be Hornets football.
It sure appeared that way. This is where it becomes a wrestling match, Troy, in there, but it certainly looked like he did have it, and they do.
Each team now with a turnover. Coach, you kind of see it. He gets it knocked out of his hand right there.
Again, just had some guards collapse there on the interior of that line, gave him great penetration, and I really feel that Dallas wasn't expecting it so quickly, and it jarred the ball loose, and what a great job for a nose for the football to get on it and give what Beech Grove's probably best field position of the night so far.
Football at the 49 at Greenfield Central. The handoff, it'll be Lee, and he
Lee's
lost the ball.
Did they give it right back, or did they?
Yeah, number 42 came up with the loose football. That's going to be Gavin Davis on the recovery.
So it looks like giving 3 on the carry, and the lost fumble, I guess, gets those yards thanks to his teammate recovering.
Second down at about 7 here. They put the football at the 46-yard line. We mentioned Bishop Moore, the starting quarterback. Just a freshman, his first varsity contest. Moore, now he's going to get hit and goes down. First sack of the night. Looked like number 5 was in there. That's going to be Zach Blevins, the defensive end at 6'3", 235.
Well, lost about 7 on the play. And, you know, these are situations here that are going to be great. These are going to be great growing points for this young man and Bishop Moore. Obviously, things are moving a little bit quicker than they did in junior high as he's getting thrown into the fire here as a freshman. But what a unbelievable feat for this young man on the varsity starting here as a freshman.
Very few freshmen start at the varsity level.
Yeah, and especially at that position.
Yeah. Clock counting at 3:47 and moving here in the first quarter. Near side ball caught. Martin goes down, number 11, tackles number 11, Peyton Foley. We talked about Foley already, one of those great linebackers there for Greenfield Central, and he came up and got him quickly.
Yeah, laid the wood there too, but great job of securing that ball and get back to the original line of scrimmage and with a gain of 5 there, but another punting situation for the Hornets.
So James Leary deep inside his 20, or really standing at about the 20. Fonseca will punt for the 3rd time tonight. Well, the turnover didn't hurt the Cougars that time. Fonseca gets rid of it, very short kick once again. And that's going to take a Greenfield Central bounce all the way back to about the 36-yard line. Want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by Passion to Care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. As a prestigious healthcare company, Passion to Care is driven by decades of expertise and a drive to go above and beyond. Give them a call today at 317-537-1811. First and 10 at the 36-yard line. Handoff. Trying to get around the edge. Nothing there for Benavente, and he's going to go down.
Yeah, great pursuit there. Open field as well. Did a great job of actually closing in on that, holding on for actually a loss of 1.
One of those in there, Dusty Miller, number 60 at 6'2", 265. So again, it'll be second down and 11. Greenfield Central fumbling their last time out. Benavente again on the carry, finds a little bit of running room across the 40 to the 42.
Gain of 7. Great. That's the downhill we talked about on last series, where he's a guy that will hit that, being a smaller frame guy, but really running inside the tackles, up the A gap, and gaining some great positive yards and having a very manageable third down.
Pitch to Benavente, near side, and he's going to get close. In fact, he got the first down, but a flag is down back at the 36. I think that might come back.
No, great cut back there by Benavente, but the hole was kind of created by a little bit of hold outside the tackle box there.
So I think this will be the first penalty now in Greenfield Central tonight. Well, for Greenfield Central, Coach, they fumbled the last possession. They have a costly holding penalty right there, so a little bit of time for their offense to get rolling.
Yeah, and you expect a lot of this, especially opening night. These guys have been going against each other, and you try to get as many live looks as you can in practice. And even though they are live, you're going against your own team, and everybody knows a lot of the playbook, and you're in positions where now you're lining up against somebody different other than a teammate. And then you got that first game jitters, kind of getting those out. I'm sure the second half will be much different. You're going to get a jump here by the nose guard here on the Hornets. That's going to give them a little bit of this back.
That was Braden Klein, the junior. So instead of 3rd and 14, it'll be 3rd down and 9. Greenfield will have to get to their own 46-yard line for the first down. Landon Ford, the receiver to the short side. Freeman throws, far sideline. Ball's going to be caught, knocked out of bounds, but it's going to be a first down on the reception. Once again, number 19, who's been big tonight already, James Leary.
Well, both of his pass completions that Dallas has been to Freeman, both for 11 and now 10 yards. Little quick outs, trying to get rid of it quick. You'll notice that he kind of short arms it, but he also doesn't drop deep in the pocket either.
Freeman pumps and then throws, and in and out of the intended receiver's hands. Number 32, Landon Ford. Probably should have caught that one near the 45.
Well, it's one of those things where again, it might have been too easy of a catch. Sometimes these young guys will lose a little bit of focus where you got to obviously follow that all the way into the hands. But pretty good strike there by Dallas, and one that they should have came up with, but brings up 2nd and 10 here from their own 47.
Well, they have been in this situation before. Handoff, and once again, it'll be the little scat back for the first down, perhaps. Very close. In fact, might be a little bit short there for Benavente. That's a great run.
Take a look, it depends on where they spot this, but I think it's going to be, hasn't waved them on yet, so it might just be a hair.
There you go.
Now they're moving.
Yep.
Move those chains. So he gets 10 on the carry there with Benavente.
So first down. Freeman quickly to the line of scrimmage. Flag is down. He'll throw. Ball caught over the middle. New number on this one, number 9. That's going to be Boston Willard. His first reception, I believe, of the evening. But we've got a flag down.
Doesn't look like that they're walking backwards, so haven't seen a motion yet.
I think they're going to back the Cougars up a little bit again.
Yeah, really nice strike there. Really good route, a good route that was ran there by Willard really sat down at the top of his route. He got a little legal procedure call against the Cougars. Spot foul, so it's
1 minute to go.
Now it's going to be look like 1st and 7. Looks like 7. Waiting for the down marker to get there. But yeah, we'll call 1st and 7.
So neither team able to score on offense. Again, that touchdown earlier was on special teams.
Well, now we're going to mark it back again. Make it.
However they have done it, Coach, they moved them back to the 48.
Or the Hornets would like them to march it back once more.
No kidding. Freeman again to throw. Over the middle. Ball's going to be caught wide open inside the 30, 25, 20, to the outside, 10, 5, and touchdown. It'll be Boston Willard, the 5'8 senior, in for the score.
Well, nice strike again. Sat down on the same route that he had two passes or two plays ago, excuse me. Dallas threw a great ball there to Willard as we check out the replay. Just goes to the top of his route, sits, and then turns on the afterburners, finds the crease, and takes that to the house. So 52 yards for the Cougars on their first offensive score of the year.
That's pretty, wasn't it? That was a heck of a throw and a great catch. Just to hang in there in between two defenders.
I can't believe we almost made it to the end of the first quarter and haven't talked about the winged helmet, you being the Michigan fan that you are. For those watching here online, the Cougars got the same helmet as the Michigan Wolverines, and none other than Troy Derengowski being a big Michigan fan.
That's right. Andrew Trable with the extra point. 46.1 to go in the first. 15-0 Cougars.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
Hey, want to remind you can help put more student athletes on TV by logging in to IndianaSRN.org and making sure you direct your donation to a specific school by hitting the donate button. More games will mean more opportunities for our student athletes. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. Beech Grove will get the football. Lee is deep. Also deep once again will be Lacey Stevens. Hornets hoping to get that offense rolling a little bit here at the end of period number 1. This will be Stevens at the 10. Near sideline 20, tries to cut back, breaks a couple of tackles. 25, still on his feet. Near the 30, nice run by Lacey Stevens, especially after getting hit a couple of times.
Yeah, great job of shifting, making a few guys miss. We do have a little laundry on the field, see what this might be. But no, great return there. In what would have been only about a 10-yard return ended up being a 20.
Starting to see a few more penalty flags here in the later stages of the first quarter.
Yeah, it looks like holding on the Hornets. So that'll negate a very positive return and starting position, field position that is. Mark this back to the 20.
So Bishop Moore back out once again, the freshman quarterback now for Beech Grove. Jeremiah Lee, the veteran running back, right behind the freshman, and also in the backfield will be Saul Hernandez. 36.8 remaining here in this opening quarter of play. Let's see what Beech Grove has here in the later stages. Ball is loose. It's on the turf, and I think that Bishop Moore jumped on top of it. Nearly coming up with it there for Greenfield Central is Tristan Lanham once again, the inside defensive lineman.
Well, this O-line for Beech Grove so far, Troy's just been having a hard time of dealing with this D-line of the Cougars so far. That's really creating a lot of havoc, and it's really disrupting a lot of their rhythm.
All right, that's going to do it for the end of period number 1. It's Cougars 15, Hornets nothing on IndianaSRN.
Piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements and top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com. Get a Gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
High school football in IndianaSRN brought to you in part by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper Logistics have consistently been the trusted allies for all of your inventory management needs, as well as warehouse fulfillment and transportation. We stand as your comprehensive logistics partner each and every day. Ride with us. Give them a call at 317-396-1023. Fishers leading North Central 21-0. Brebeuf and Chittard tied at 7. What a great early matchup in that one. So the Hornets will have it 2nd down and 14. Two receivers now to the near side, just underway in period number 2. Here comes the blitz, and the freshman will go down. Bishop Moore had no chance on that one. Big number 36, Jake Van Osdal in there to help get the sack.
Well, again, it just continues to be much of the same, Troy, where just the pursuit of this D-line just continues just to man the upfront work of both these lines. And the line of scrimmage is certainly all the Cougars so far on both sides of the ball.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 21. Football back at the 8-yard line. Greenfield showing blitz again. Moore to throw to the far side. It's up for grabs and nearly intercepted.
The Cougars showing blitz again. Pretty good coverage here to the outside. Just was out the arm reach there of Lee, as this will bring up 4th down, and they'll be kicking from their goal line.
By the way, in there for Greenfield Central, number 13, Zach Waterman. Well, they're going to get really good field position here. If I'm Fonseca, I want to get rid of that thing as quickly as I can.
Well, yeah, and you know, in a situation like this, a lot of times you'll see really kind of bring in the house, and looks like they might be doing this too.
Here they come right up the middle. Fonseca gets rid of it, end over end kick, and there will be a fair catch inside the 35. It'll be 1st down. James Leary there on the fair catch, and so Greenfield, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, has maybe their best field position of the night.
Yeah, starting position it is. Got the first score if some are just tuning in now. Got the first score on the defensive side of the ball, or special teams that is, with the botched punt to open up for the Hornets, and allowed them to pounce on it in the end zone for their first score, and then on the last possession scored on a 52-yard strike with Willard.
Hand off, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper on this one. That'll be Dallas Freeman putting his head down inside the 25 to near the 23-yard line.
Going for 9 yards there. This is a quarterback too. I mean, as much as he is a pocket passer and one that can hurt you with his arm and through his progressional reads, but certainly last year had 6 or 7 scores with his feet as well. So he's one that can certainly get to the outside there on the last play, showing you right up the A-gap.
Freeman looking right, throws high, and unable to bring it down will be James Leary. So it falls incomplete. Now you're looking at 3rd down and 1.
And even though it's short yardage, certainly would anticipate them being 4-down territory where they're at here, if they don't get this 30 feet.
Yeah. By the way, Colton Robertson, the 6'7", 300-pound tackle on that left movement. Side, and yep, you got some movement.
Oh, encroachment.
This will go against Beech Grove. Second time we've seen that.
Yeah, certainly is not the way that you want. You were hoping you'd get him at 3rd and 6, but this gives them the 1st down, and more than likely might even change the play call too.
Penalty may have been on number 44, C.J. Small-Turpin, who came out of the lineup. So football at the 17-yard line.
Might be a dose of Benevente here, and they go with a pass.
Freeman, time over the middle, wide open, touchdown. It'll be number 9, Boston Willard, the senior, on the score, and it's 21-0.
Well, and his second score of the or excuse me, no, that's not correct. He actually had
he's Boston Willard. Yeah.
On the first score.
Yeah. He had the 52-yarder.
2 and 17 now.
Yep. That'll come at the 10-22 mark. This time a 17-yarder. So the extra point attempt. This time into the sun, and the kick is on the way, and it is good. 10:22 remaining before halftime. Cougars on top 22-0.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Nothing your score here before halftime. Willard, a couple of receptions for the touchdowns, leading the way offensively now for the Cougars. Lee will be deep along with Lacey Stevens. Hand over and kick. Let's see what Lee can do inside the 10 at about the 9. Lee to the outside. Good speed. 30, 35. One to beat. High steps. The last player to beat Zach Waterman, and Waterman able to bring him down, but Lee had a great return.
Well, that's what he will do for you as far as when you get him in the open field. He not only has the speed, but certainly has good, nice footwork, as we see this here on the replay. Just kind of hits the outside, sees the crease, and has some blocking and saving tackle there that we see that came up there by Waterman. Zach, that is.
That's pretty good speed right there.
Yeah. He's a young man that had 1,600 yards on the ground last year with 22 touchdowns, so he's one that can certainly make some things happen.
Well, Hornets now need to get the offense going once again. Here's Bishop Moore back in at quarterback, and everybody jumping.
That's going to go against Beech Grove. Looks like he had movement on the offensive side.
By the way, Andy Fonseca is not only the punter, he is the center He apparently didn't get the memo to hike the football. So we'll move him back to the 38-yard line. By the way, don't forget later on tonight, after all these football games, Indiana Sports Talk, and I have a feeling Greg Cox will be on that show tonight.
See, with Coach Lovell.
Yeah. We had a chance to talk with Coach Lovell a couple of weeks ago, and all of our broadcasters tonight will take a part in that. Here's Lee on the carry, maybe 41-yard line. Well, just think, you have high school football starting this week. College football starts tomorrow in week zero, they call it. The NFL will be done with the preseason. Then we'll be thinking about the regular season starting pretty soon.
It's that time of the year.
Yep.
Very exciting times, and certainly great for all these schools to be back in session, getting a few weeks under their belt. Kids getting back, parents probably be in a lot of ways glad that summer's over, and that they get out from all of the travel and the programs and the vacations. But what a neat time of the year, though, around the state, like I said, on these campuses, and educational-based athletics and opportunities here for these young athletes.
Oh, my. That time it'll be Levander Goggins, the senior left tackle.
Well, we talked about, Troy, at the top of the hour, in terms of the keys, especially for Beech Grove, one that's under, new coaching staff, new system, and coach talking about, hey, we need 70% execution before we start to have that ripple effect or having the playbook get bigger. Well, it comes in also to these mental mistakes. You expect them to happen. They're going to happen every game. They're going to expect to happen early on in the season with game one. But Beech Grove has certainly had a lot of them here tonight.
More to Lee. Lee to the outside. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Number 13, Zach Waterman, in on the stop.
And give him 9 on the carry there, which is a lot more manageable here at 3rd and 10. Hopefully you can get this and have someone make a play with this ball to try to get them a new set of downs.
So 3rd down and 10.
This is a Greenfield Central team too, that for much of the year last year, they were number 1 in the 4A system before losing just a 7 points, I think it was, to New Pal in the regular season.
Ball will be dropped. Lacey Stevens tried to take off before he made the catch, and it's going to be 4th down.
Well, and give credit to Peyton Foley coming through and getting the hands up, batting that ball down, slightly deflected, which had it come off a little bit different and allowing it not to be received.
You were mentioning a little bit ago, Coach, that most of the parents are kind of glad to have their kids back in school. Back in my day, you didn't go back until after Labor Day.
A lot of these schools starting at the end of July now.
Yeah.
I think back in our day, Troy, it was one of those things where, we never went back as late as late. Oh, we got another botched snap here. The punter's up.
And a scoop 6. Ball picked up by Cooper Hinton in the end zone. The second touchdown scored on special teams by the Cougars.
Well, if you can ever go through a game and you can get a score from your special teams, you might not always win the games, but it's a true win when you can get special team scores. And they've had 2 already, and we still have just under 9 minutes to go before half. So what a great way to get points when it might not be your offense.
Thought maybe Fonseca was going to be able to jump on the football, but unfortunately he could not, and so Cooper Hinton gets the score. And right now it is all Greenfield at 28-0, even without their offense really putting a lot of big numbers up here in the first half. So now the extra point attempt. Big fella kicking right there, number 79, Andrew Trable. It is good. 8:43 remaining before the half. 29-0 Cougars.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Dynamark. Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, and promotional products, as well as apparel and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years, Dynamark, where your strong relationships are built through exceptional service. Give them a call at 317-328-2555. Now, mistakes hurting the Hornets here tonight, especially on special teams. This kick will go into the end zone for the touchback. First time that Beech Grove will not get a chance to make a return, and they'll have the football down 29-0.
Well, it's one that the Hornets got to get something going offensively. They got less than 40 yards of total offense in a quarter and a half. So got to get in a position where they're getting a little bit more done there. And Troy, it really starts up front. They've been having a really hard time handling the D-line of the Cougars, where they're just getting great pursuit, not only on the edges, but more so even up the gut. So see what they might be able to do here and making some adjustments and trying to get something going on offense.
We want to talk about the kickoff, and the NFL's changed their kickoff. I want to know what your thoughts on that would be. We'll throw to the outside. Ball's going to be caught. Short gain, though. On the reception, looked like number 11, Cordell Martin. Is that Martin?
Yeah, I think it was a gain of about 3. Maybe giving, 3 yards.
So the new kickoff rule in the NFL, you have seen it, right?
Yes, I have.
You like it?
I do. I only wish that they would actually have the guys back even further. I know that they promoted it to try to make sure that there was more returned balls, which, there certainly has and certainly will continue to be. But I still would like them to move back even further to make the game a little bit more exciting with some longer returns.
Lee gets hammered immediately, may get back to the line of scrimmage. Well, you really have to like these linebackers for Greenfield Center. They seem like they're in on just about every play.
Well, and the kicker you see in Zach Blevins, I mean, what a guy at 6'3", 240. He's the kicker that you just saw put it in the end zone. But what a great body this young man has on him. And just setting the edge, but just seeing him there in pads looks great on a DN being at that size.
So 3rd and 9. Moore rolling and throwing against his body. Ball will be caught and driven out of bounds. Look like it'll be shy of the first down on the reception, 42, which is Gavin Davis, a senior tight end at 5'10", 175.
So they give him 7 on the play. It's 4th down. Right now it looks like they're going for it on 4th and about 1.5 yards. But kind of a gamble being down 29 points on your own 28-yard line. But Coach Mosley obviously is feeling something, or his old coordinator at that matter.
Well, let's find out. 4th down and 2. Moore throws to the flat, and it's dropped. Probably would have been a first down, but Gavin Davis, the tight end, drops it. I think that might be his second drop of the night. And at 4th and 2, Greenfield's going to take over, and they're knocking on the door with 7:12 remaining.
Yeah, and it was a good play, or excuse me, good pass by Moore. He put it right where he needed to, hit him in the hands, and certainly I think one of those type of situations where he's thinking about turning upfield before he possessed the ball. But that's the downside to that as the ball's turned over to the Cougars with great field position, being up 29-0.
Dallas Freeman with Benavente in the backfield.
Single coverage on the top.
They'll hand it off now to Hinton. Hinton has running room as he cuts it up the middle inside the 20. Nice run by Hinton down to around the 11.
Well, and that's his first positive gain of tonight. Might even be his first carry as well. And what a great looking back that he is as well. As we mentioned before, older brother Jake, last year, top 50, IHSAA All-State, and is at West Point now. Not only serving our country, but playing football.
1st and 10. Freeman to throw. Has time near sideline and overthrows his receiver. Intended for number 9, which is Boston Willard, has been his favorite target tonight. It'll be 2nd and 10. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Anthony Richardson for the Colts there, just a little bit off the mark. His accuracy hasn't been perfect tonight.
No.
Neither was his.
No, it wasn't. I mean, that first drive last night against the Bengals looked lovely coming out. Now, even though they were against the backups, but then the second one and after that, not so much.
Freeman flushed out of the pocket, throws late, and it's going to be picked off.
That could be. I think you're going to get a helmet-to-helmet shot there, personal foul that he led with his helmet. That looks like Benavente, the running back. So this will be 15 on top of that. But what a great step up and read that and being able to get this some positive yards. And it will take a ball out probably to about the 45.
By the way, pass intended for Boston Willard. Saul Hernandez gets the INT. Second turnover
42,
tonight.
43-yard line probably.
So take another look at it.
Good job of Dallas being able to step up in the pocket, but throwing into traffic there, and the ball kind of got deflected a bit. Great job of the DB there doing what he does, and Saul Hernandez, who also plays receiver on the offensive side. But there he became the receiver on defense.
Marked out to the 42.
This is where you're hoping you can get something going. They kind of avoided the situation of a running clock getting above 35 if those aren't aware of that, as we get another penalty. And you're going to have it against the Hornets again with a legal procedure. So these are some things that's got to be able to be corrected here. Again, we talked about earlier, these things are going to happen and going to happen early. But there's just been too many of them. And in a lot of situations like this, you just got to be able to get out of your own way on the mental side.
So instead of 1st and 10, it'll be 1st and 15. Football is the 37. Here comes the blitz again. Moore looking to his right, has a man. Ball's going to be caught, and he'll get past the 44 near the 45-yard line.
Yeah, give him like 7, 8 on the play there.
That's going to be Cordell Martin once again, the freshman. Martin must be good because he's got fluorescent green gloves. So now it'll be 2nd down and about 8.
Now, these are some things too. As much pursuit as Greenfield's getting up the gut, that's where you'd kind of like to get Lee out in the flats and get some quick wheel routes or something that you can get to him in the flats and try to allow him to make some things happen.
Well, your quarterback Bishop Moore unable to hold on to the snap, nearly lost it once again. That would have been tough. But now all of a sudden you're down 3rd down and what now, 13?
Well, and it's one of those things we've talked about more of the penalties that they've had, but a lot of times we've seen it 3 or 4 scenarios where they've had good positive yards, and it hasn't been in bunches, but it's been 4 or 5 times, but the play right after, it's marched right back, whether it's botched snaps or whether it's penalties or getting tackles for losses from the Cougars.
So again, 3rd down and 13. Moore takes the snap, throws it over the middle. Ball's going to be caught by Lee.
He's not down.
Not
he
yet.
Is not down.
Stays on his feet
That's
to the
touchdown.
outside, to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
what a heads-up play by him. You know, you don't hear whistles. You got to teach your kids. You play to the whistle. Here we see, too, I just talked about trying to get him out in the flat, which is what they did here. Comes in, does a great job. Didn't hear a whistle. Everybody else stops. You can't do that. You got to be in a position where you're playing to that. He did the right thing and continued to take that right there to the house for 56 yards. So what great momentum piece there as far as a swing. They had one more on that one play, Troy, than they had total yards going into that play.
Wow. So now they'll go for 2. Moore looking and now flushed out of the pocket. Sidearm pass, ball caught for 2. That'll be Marcellus Bradford for the 2-point conversion. 4:44 remaining before halftime. Some life now for the Hornets. They trail at 29-8.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Well, you feel a little bit of life here with the Hornets band and the cheerleaders and the fans finally tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if they call them the Nest, the Bee Hornets. But yeah, got the crowd up now too. Cheerleaders got the crowd going, but obviously you got to feel and love that for the Hornets offense, and just as a team has really struggled. Didn't even have 56 yards of total offense before that play and get it on one with Lee breaking that to the house. So it's just little things like that can help propel your defense and kind of give a little bit more situation to your team to uplift and play with maybe a little different swagger.
By the way, Saul Hernandez, there's a little confusion here on the kickoff team. Hernandez forgot the tee.
Drop kick it.
Might as well, right?
Back in our days.
Yeah, that's right.
Drop kick.
Hernandez, left-footed kicker. Benavente will be on the return across the 20-25, takes a hard hit and brought down before he gets to the 30-yard line.
14-yard return, takes it back to the 29. Take over here with just about 4.5 to go in the first half. You're joining us late. Greenfield got on the board pretty quickly off Beech Grove's botched punt, or to score at the beginning. Answered that, was up 29-0 before the 56-yard play that Beech Grove just had to kind of pipe some energy into this Hornet team.
That looked like that might be a broken play there for the quarterback, Freeman. His running back took off, and he was ready to hand it off. There was nobody there.
Yeah, and that's what you want. I mean, it's different plays of a game that might elevate the rest of the team. And, first play out, get them for a no gain, maybe a yard. Looks like they are going to give him a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
4 minutes, plenty of time for Greenfield Central. But before we do anything else, we will get a timeout. 4:12 remaining before halftime. Cougars still lead at 29-8.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
here at Beech Grove High School. After the timeout, 2nd down and 9. And the carry will be Benavente, and Benavente is going to get a first down out across the 40 near the 43-yard line. Nice carry by the junior tailback.
They'll give him 13. Again, downhill runner. They're running the hurry up, kind of no huddle. They want to be able to put some more points here on the board, and they like to do it quick. Again, they're always going to look to spread you out.
Freeman handoff. Benavente once again over the left side. Didn't get much here. Maybe 3 yards. Halftime, we'll try to get some scores for you, plus the IndianaSRN preseason football poll. We had our preseason football show last night from Aspen Creek Grill. Had a chance to go over all the top teams in all 6 classes. 3rd straight carry for Benavente, and he will be brought down in Beech Grove territory at around the 48.
That gives him 6 on the play. Bring that third and a long 1, we'll call it. Short 2.
James Leary, one of 2 receivers here to the near side. The quick pitch, Benavente, and he's going to go down. The pitch was a little bit in front of him, and he kind of stumbled.
Yeah, I look for them to go for this here. They lost about 3 yards on the play, so it's going to bring up 4th and 4, but certainly had what they wanted. But, yeah, just kind of let him a little bit too much, and it's a great job by Benavente even coming up with that.
Even on a pitch like that, I can understand the quarterback turning around and doing that, but not when you're trying to shovel
it out.
Yeah, I'd rather see him, if he's going to do it, pitch it.
Pitch.
4th down and 4. Benavente on the carry. 1st down and more. Puts his head down inside the 40 to about the 38.
Looks like we'll give him 12 on that play. And again, he's one that will lower the shoulder and really look to give the blow as opposed to taking it. He gives it more than he takes it.
Beech Grove making a change as there's some jumping up front, and that's going to go against the Hornets, I believe. This could be the 3rd encroachment penalty they have had here in the first half. Guys getting a little bit too jumpy there.
Well, they've been anxious most of the night.
Yeah.
And, defensively, it's you got to keep your eye on the ball. It amounts to nothing more than that. You can anticipate a little bit more when you're in that second line of defense in the linebackers, but not when you're on the edge.
Benavente again on the carry to the 30. Might have gone to the 29, and a little extracurricular activity going on.
Looks like he got. It looks like he might be just short. Give him 5, but yeah, I think he's just short.
I think they were talking about Michael Martin, the defensive back there, who may have shoved Benavente down a second time. He'll come out. Cooper Hinton will come in. They'll, of course, think about Benavente. He carried the ball, every play except for one, right?
Yeah, and I love the substitution. You got football's an emotional game. You get him out, get his head right, let him cool off. Now you're going to get a dead ball, allow him a little bit more time to do that. But,
you've got a timeout. Were we taking a timeout, or are we going to keep it? We'll keep it right here and remind you that, again, we'll try to get you some scores at halftime. If you don't stay up late tonight looking for scores, don't forget you get up tomorrow morning, because a lot of those games will be happening in Evansville and up in the region where they're an hour behind us. You may not want to stay up till 11 or midnight to get those scores. We'll have them on the sports page tomorrow morning. Everybody, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, is playing tonight. No Saturday games, but we'll have them on the sports page. Plus, we'll have Major League Baseball, the WNBA, NFL games that might be going on tonight. Full slate, I'm sure, tomorrow on the sports page on IndianaSRN.org.
You come off the WNBA break of, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and fever come back, and you got 2 games kind of back in four games, and then they had 2 great wins, and then they get 6 more days off. It's like, wait a second, we're playing too good for another break.
Freeman to throw, puts it in the air, nice touch, ball's going to be caught, hit immediately inside the 5-yard line. It'll be Cooper Hinton coming out of the backfield to make the catch. And now Greenfield knocking on the door once again.
Well, what a great job on the wheel route here and getting 25 off of it at that. Well-placed ball. Now you can kind of take your time. Got some timeouts left. Let this clock run. You're inside the 5. Trying to get the play right, waiting for the signal calls to come in, and you might get a timeout here, as you will, by the Cougars.
We'll take a timeout. 50.2 remaining. 29-8 Cougars.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all the reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
You want a piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements and top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the
Back after the timeout, the pitch near side to the corner, touchdown. Cooper Hinton, after making that nice catch, gets into the end zone, his first touchdown of the night, and the Cougars get 6 back.
Well, it's what you want. I mean, when you give the first score up for your opponent, you got to be able to answer back, keep that lead the way that it was. And it looks like they're lining up potentially for another 2-point conversion.
By the way, Hinton did have that touchdown on the fumble recovery, but his first offensive score. And we'll see the extra point attempt. Andrew Trable, they list him at 250. I think they've cheated him a little bit, didn't they? Here's the kick on the way. He's a big fella. And the kick is good. 44.2 remaining. Cougars now lead at 36-8.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Hornets will get the football here with the final 44.2 remaining. Craig Cox is writing as fast as I've seen anybody ever write before to get some scores down, and plus he'll have some stats for us at halftime. And our first week of high school football and a beautiful night here at Beech Grove High School at Veterans Stadium. I want to thank the athletic staff and all their help tonight to make our broadcast possible. It'll be a short kick and a return once again by Saul Hernandez. He gets driven back and he ends up losing some yardage, and we've got a late flag. Saul tried to take that ball to the right, probably should have made the catch and at least gotten to the near sideline and gained some extra yards. So now we'll sort out the penalty. Cathedral, Ben Davis. Cathedral on, it's only 3-0?
That's all that's been reported right now in the second quarter.
Wow.
Defensive battle. Again, over 400 schools, 200 games tonight across the state, opening night. And what a beautiful one at that.
You know, my challenge to you is to get all 200 games on that sheet of paper.
I got to write smaller. I can write quick. I can't write small. They'll give me like a 4 font.
Yeah, no kidding. More to throw, and it's almost picked off. It was tipped. First off by Cody Smith and nearly intercepted by Trenton Smith. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. You know, once Bishop Moore understands the varsity game, and he will, they're going to have to take their lumps, and that's certainly understood. But you think about his development over the next 4 seasons. By the time he's a senior, he could be pretty good.
Strong, yeah, especially you're surrounding with some guys. I think the big part up front has been a lot what we've seen tonight, but you're right. I mean, that's, you know, such a tough position to step into, and to do that as a freshman is a feat in itself.
Low throw, it hits the turf. It was intended there for Lee coming out of the backfield. Boy, you don't want to do this, and that is give Greenfield Central the football back with any time on that clock in excellent field position, because they will shoot for the end zone.
And each team still has a timeout left. Don't anticipate Beech Grove taking it, but you might see Greenfield burn one here if they can get a stop and force a punt.
So 3rd down and 10. The pitch will be Lee. Lee, 1st down and more. 40, 45, 50. Sidesteps the tackler and all the way inside the 40, down to about the 37. What a run by Lee.
You got a 40-yard run. Again, that's what he does. You get him to the outside, and this kid can be very special.
Take another look at it. Boy, his afterburners are really, really good. Timeout by Beech Grove with 14.5. They'll have to work very quick as you see the offensive unit at the sidelines.
You might be in a position too, Troy. If you get something, they just burn their last one. You got to work some sideline here, maybe try to get 6 or 8 yards, and then try to use your freshman quarterback to throw it up deep and throw a 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
If your guy doesn't come up with it, maybe you hope for pass interference, and but you still got time for at least 2 plays if you work the sidelines well.
We've been here for Hornets basketball and even Hornets baseball this past spring.
Speaking of Beech Grove basketball, I must say, as a former basketball coach, I think Beech Grove might have one of the best paint schemes on their basketball court, maybe in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
Morristown's pretty good too, but Beech Grove is really, really good.
They'll have a new head coach for the boys basketball team as well this year.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they did a court dedication to Coach English, who had the former coach that had passed away.
Yeah.
But such a great paint scheme in terms of not only color, but the design is done really, really well. So kudos to the athletic administration here at the school for that.
You really can't go wrong with orange and black, can you?
Yeah.
Now it's
still missing the one of Broad Ripple, though, and not having that high school round.
I agree. Moore goes down.
That'll probably take us to half there. No timeouts, so that'll take us to halftime.
Well, there you have it. Cougars come back. They get the 8 points back they gave up on that Lee 56-yard touchdown run. Your thoughts on, before we go to halftime, what you saw in the first half? We kind of saw Greenfield certainly take advantage of 2 big mistakes on special teams, but we've also seen them come through on offense.
Well, I think we got what we expected with a tenured coach, 6-year and Coach Nolte with the Cougars. They've had great balance on offense and defensive side, and even special teams. So I think we got what we had planned to there. I think on the Beech Grove side, coming in with a new coaching regiment, you really didn't know a lot what to expect. Obviously, you have a freshman quarterback as well. We've mentioned that a few times. Some of it I expected in terms of the mental side, but it was a little bit more depth, to that than what I anticipated, and that's really hurt them, as well as the O-line allowing the Cougars' defensive line to have that pursuit.
When we come back, we'll update you on some scores. Coach Cox will have the first half numbers headed your way. We'll run down the scoring if we get an opportunity to do that as well. Halftime, Greenfield Central leads it 36-8.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to the southeast side of Indianapolis at Veterans Stadium on the campus of Beech Grove High School, where tonight's contest is the Hornets of Beech Grove hosting the Cougars of Greenfield Central. We're enlightened by the band that's coming on halftime for the halftime show, opening week here. This is one of 4 broadcasts tonight by IndianaSRN, where we continue to keep you in the game. Just some halftime stats with obviously the Cougars of Greenfield Central being up 36-8 at halftime. We have Dallas Freeman, the quarterback, has 115 yards passing with 2 scores. Those 2 strikes going to Willard on 79 yards for himself. Benavente has 52 yards on the ground. And, we also have James Leary with a couple catches for 21. On the Beech Grove side, we're very limited, Troy, coming into the long play by Lee, where the Cougars thought he was down. He wasn't, took it to the house there. But other than that, prior to that, they had less yards of 56. But you got the freshman quarterback that you have from Beech Grove with 87 yards that we have there for Bishop Moore. And then Lee, we talked about him. He has 117 overall. He has 60 on the ground, but also has 57 receiving. And then his favorite target in terms of receiving, more that is, has been Kellen Martin with 4 catches for 30. Just to bring you update on some of the scores around Central Indiana, Cathedral Ben Davis, the last score, and these are just the latest scores that we have. Cathedral up on Ben Davis 3-0. Fishers 28-7 over North Central. Got a good one with Chittard and Burbuff, with Burbuff trailing by 6, 20-14. Guerin Catholic 15-7 over McCutcheon. Park Tudor over Greenwood Christian 20-14. Lafayette Jeff and Avon 24-7. Pendleton Heights and Lebanon, probably one of the closest lock games tonight, with the Arabians up 24-21 over Lebanon. Webo, Western Boone, and Sheridan locked at 14. And certainly prayers going out to Bud Wright, the legendary, I think he's 83 or 84, still coaching. And you talk about Central Indiana, this is a national icon. Guy's 83 years old, but took a hit and fell, and something I think was his humerus bone, had to have some surgery. So prayers out to Coach Wright, the family, and the Sheridan community with him. But that game locked up at 14. And then Center Grove Westfield, the Trojans up on the Shamrocks 14-6. So again, right here at Veterans Stadium, the Cougars leading 36-8 over the Hornets of Beech Grove. Troy, your thoughts?
I'll tell you what, some of the scores, I'm really, again, Cathedral Ben Davis 3-0. And they've got so much power on those offenses, but now it's defense stepping up on that one. There's so many good teams. We talked about it last night. at Aspen Creek Grill. That 6A is going to be just brutal again this year to get through that. You know, Ben Davis had to win 3 very close games just to get to the state championship, where they beat Center Grove as badly as they did. But right now, we'll see what they can do offensively tonight. Here's how the scoring went this evening in this one. Greenfield Central got on the board first at 10:05 on the fumbled punt recovery, and they had the 2-point conversion. That made it 8-0. Greenfield came back at 46.1 seconds of that opening quarter. Willard, the 52-yard touchdown reception, and that made it 15-0. Willard got his second score at 10:22 to go in the second quarter. That was a 17-yard touchdown reception, and that made it 22-0. At 8:43, another fumbled punt recovery, this time by Hinton. They get into the end zone and make it 29-0. The first score of the night by Beech Grove happened at the 4:44 mark. Jeremiah Lee, the 56-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion was good. That made it 29-8. And then Hinton rounding out the scoring with a 4-yard touchdown scamper at 44.2 seconds. And that made it 36-8 here at halftime. When we come back, we'll get you updated. In fact, the IndianaSRN preseason football poll came out earlier. We'll tell you about that poll coming up next right here on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
The marching band here at Beech Grove High School at Veterans Stadium. We want to remind all of our viewers on IndianaSRN that tomorrow we have a doubleheader. Boys and girls soccer, 1:30 Heritage Christian and Bishop Chittard. That's the girls' game, and then the boys' game will be at 3:30. We also have volleyball action coming up next week, where North Central will be at Mount Vernon. We'll have that game again on IndianaSRN. We'll also have more soccer, Covenant Christian and Beech Grove. That'll be on Thursday of next week. Volleyball action, Guerin and Bishop Chittard from Bishop Chittard. That'll be on Thursday next week as well. And that's a busy schedule through Thursday, and if I am not mistaken, 5 football games next week on IndianaSRN, and probably the biggest one will be that Brownsburg and Cathedral matchup. That'll take place at Marian University. I will be there along with, I believe, John Lester for that contest. And where are you next week?
I will be out of town
Really?
attending my son's college football game.
Oh, good for you.
So I'm off next week watching next level football.
And where does he go?
He's at Indiana Westland.
Oh, okay, very good.
So they'll
Very
be up
good
in
program.
Michigan playing, and yeah, early polls are number 6 in the country preseason, and picked to win their conference again for hopefully the 4th year in a row. So
all right. By the way, want to remind you we have and it'll be weekly, the IndianaSRN preseason football polls. We do the top 5. It'll be Ben Davis, number 1 in 6A, followed by Crown Point, Hamilton Southeastern, Warren Central, and Cathedral. In 5A, we put Whiteland at number 1, and John Lester gave me a heck of a hard time about that one. But we want to give them a little bit of hope at Whiteland. Bloomington North is number 2, followed by Castle, Decatur Central, number 4, and Maryville at number 5. In 4A, New Pal, number 1, followed by Bishop Chittard, Brebeuf, Greenfield Central, and Mount Vernon. And Bishop Chittard and Brebeuf playing tonight. Is that right?
they are, and actually it's 20-14 on the last reported score we have. Chittard leading that. I'll be at Brebeuf in a few weeks when they take on Guerin.
That'll be a fun one as well. In 3A, Heritage Hills is number 1, followed by Guerin Catholic, Gibson Southern, Knox, and Lawrenceburg. In 2A, Triton Central, then it's Lafayette Central Catholic, Indianapolis Lutheran, though, what did they won now? 50 in a row, it seems like. Linton Stockton and North Posey. Of course, they end up moving up from 1A to 2A.
So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and then 1A, it's South Putnam, Sheridan, North Decatur, Monroe Central, and North Judson.
Yeah, so we have a number of teams that actually did jump up a class due to the success factor. And of those, you probably look at Lutheran as being one. You have the 1 and 2A classes that don't get as much love, don't get as much of attention and the press per se than the 3s, if not definitely the 4, 5, and 6s. But I think that Lutheran is probably set up to potentially have the most success out of a team that has actually jumped up a class. I wouldn't be surprised if they're at Lucas Oil again, where they're at. Obviously preseason number 3, and it's opened it up though now for the 1A as Lutheran's moved out after winning back-to-back.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the second half here tonight with Greenfield Central in command of this one. What do you expect in the second half, and what does Beech Grove have to do? I mean, one big obvious thing right now, they've got to cut back on some mistakes, but they've got to find a way to get some points on the board, which has eluded them here in the first half.
Well, they do, and I think the thing is I like the ideas of lining some guys up, whether it's tight ends or flankers, out of that H-back or getting Lee out of the backfield in the flats, getting some little quick hits and letting these guys get to the edge and try to make some things happen. I think that, Moore's got to be careful, or Beech Grove, in terms of just dropping him straight back. There's just too much pursuit up the A-gap. I think if they can get little quick hits in the flats, allow some of their players to make – and they've had some good success when they've done that, or running the little, 5 to 7 yard hitch routes. I think sets up better for them. And then certainly making those adjustments from a mental standpoint, not so much the physical side, and cutting back on some of these ways that they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot.
Greenfield, they have a 36-8 lead, Coach, but they haven't been all perfect tonight either. They've had a couple of areas on offense that certainly have been a little bit of a mistake here or there, but when they play really good teams, they can't do that.
No, I mean, they've had a couple botched snaps themselves. They've had a fumble, if not even 2. They've had a couple pitches that weren't there. We saw one of them late there in the second, but one in the first quarter as well. Again, this is a game to kind of, work the kinks out, and you're asked to do that pretty quickly. But I think all in all, we've kind of received what we thought we might get out of Greenfield. But you're right. When you start to play your New Pals, your Mount Vernons, those teams might make you pay a little bit differently than what a first game Beech Grove team might do.
All right, when we come back, second half action is on the way. 36-8, Cougars on top here at halftime.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Veteran Stadium on the campus of Beech Grove High School, and a reminder that tonight's game brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is a leading equipment dealer and has been since 1955. Passion to care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. Boilermaker Local 374, where they represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction as well as metal fabrication in the state of Indiana. Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. Bertner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. The Morales Group, we're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Northwestern Mutual, inspiring people to repeatedly take action on their financial goals. Indiana Laborers District Council, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Labor's District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana, we are LIUNA. And by the Indiana SRN sports page. Follow the sports page daily with updated sports news coast to coast. Go to IndianaSRN.org and click on the sports page tab. We are gearing up for the second half here at Beech Grove High School. Get some of the scores from a couple of our other games tonight. We'll certainly pass those along. Looks like at halftime, how about this game? This is a halftime score over on the east side of the state. Northeastern leading Union County 60-0.
60.
60.
Opening game, opening week.
Opening week at halftime. Boy, that's you want to go, is that a mistake? But it's a pretty reliable source that just told me that.
Yeah, putting 60 up in any game is good, let alone doing it in week one.
Yeah. Well, you're going to see, and we've been around football enough to know that there are a lot of programs that are really still just trying to get their foot on the ground. And in week one, and if you've had some struggles, Coach, over the last few years, and some of those programs have, it takes a long time. First off, you got to build that feeder program. And you got to keep the kids interested in football throughout the entire system. And if you change coaches, a lot of that changes, and it's just hard to get that program going.
No, and that's an absolute great point, Troy. I mean, you know, when you talk about your feeder system and you know where your kids are coming from and the trickle-down effect, how important it is for a coach that's leading a program at the high school level to know what trickles down to the JV, to the freshman, to the junior high, to your 5th and 6th, to the feeder, to the Pop Warner, and making your kids feel a part of that, how important it is to get them all here on Friday night, get their families here, get them bought in when they're in 3rd and 4th grade, and systematically talking about what those are like. And you know, I mean, most of your programs that are prospering really well, it's attributed a lot to what that looks like as head coaches work their feeder systems. You know, I must say, too, for all of our listeners and viewers out there, too, we got to give a special shout-out to you, Troy Darengowski, and how you are celebrating your 40th year of doing this on the headset. And what a blessing you have been to not just Central Indiana, the state, but other parts of the country that you started this. Was it in Colorado, or where were you out west?
I began in Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado, Wyoming, Indiana.
There you go. It's a good combo right there.
Great combo.
But no, what a tribute to you, and thank you so much for not only what you do, but how you do it. I mean, your delivery and just your diligence, and it's not just football with you. It's not just high school. It's college. Yeah. You know, it's volleyball. It's lacrosse. I mean, swimming. I remember last year you were talking about you did some swim meets. I mean, I even was asking you, how do you do swim? I've never done that. But again, props to you, man. Thank you. It's always a blessing to work alongside you. And thank you for Jerry Collins and Keith Myers at SRN for employing you as well.
I appreciate that. Very kind words. Thank you very much. Well, I figured over the years, in the 40 years, I've done over 3,500 games.
I've been doing this for 4. I got the 4 part of this. This is my 4th year.
Well, congratulations. You only have 36 more.
I got 30. I don't think I'll get to that. I might be 93. I don't think anyone wants to listen to me next year, let alone when I'm 93.
You know, one thing that kind of helped over a 10-year period, I was doing over 100 games a year.
Wow.
And it was everything from football to baseball, field hockey, lacrosse, you name it. I was doing it. So, it built up.
Sports encyclopedia, man.
Man, that's a lot of games.
It is.
I used to know guys that would be doing it for 50 years, and I would ask them the same thing. You know,
and here you are.
And here I am now. And they just say, it just means I'm getting old. So that's
right.
My biggest response. I'm just getting old.
That's it. Well, again, congratulations, and we're glad to have you aboard.
I appreciate it. All right, here we go, second half. A lot of the fans have hung around here to see how the Hornets will do in the second half. Now, the key is, again, Coach, their defense is going to have to step up here. There is a mercy rule, again, in high school football at 35. And they want to make sure they can perhaps extend this game a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I mean, once it starts on that, you can't turn it back. Clock will run. And, you know, there's got to be a lot of the pride factor, too. I mean, the team, the coaches, you know, this community, they don't want to see that as well. It makes for a quicker game, less probably times and reps, but we're underway here in the second half.
Will be one of the upbacks. This will be Carson Anderson. Makes a return to around the 38-yard line. Well, I'll tell you what, we talk about some of the big games that are going to be coming up on IndianaSRN, and we have a lot of very good games, and we'll be on clear through semi-state football. I know it's a ways away, but football for me seems to go so fast.
Yes, it does. It does. I mean, you got 9 weeks, and then you're jumping into the playoffs, and, you know, you got basketball that stretches out over 2 semesters of school, you know, 3 or 4 months, well, really almost 5, you know, with basketball, and so you're right, it does go really quick. And I'll tell you what's even quicker is spring.
Yeah.
Spring, and then you got the rainouts and everything happens. So, I mean, you got like a 9-week season and spring break in the middle of it all.
By the way, that was Braylon Benavente on the carry. He'll get about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Greenfield Central, and the handoff up the middle, and a lot of running room this time for Peyton Foley. He's going to get a 1st down and more all the way down to the 41.
Well, he's going for 15 there. Really nice run. And I'll tell you, give the O-line and D-line for the Cougars great credit, not only with the pursuit that they've had on Bishop Moore on the defensive side, but these guys creating these gaps and holes for these runners.
Guess who again to the outside? It'll be Foley. Foley up the left sideline, and where did he come from? Wow. Foley is 6'2", 235 pounds. Who is he?
Take that.
Kind of looks a little bit like a really big fullback that, remember, he's a linebacker for
25
sure.
25 yards. And he's 6'2", 225, so I don't know if you want to tackle that coming downhill at the high school level.
Never. They're going to keep it on the ground over the left side and into the end zone for the touchdown, Cooper Hinton, but there is a flag down back at the 20. It looks like that may be a holding penalty.
Yeah, you always got to pay attention where the flags are thrown in the vicinity, and a lot of times it'll tell a lot of the story, but certainly can't imagine that this one is not coming back, as the players thinking the same thing with their walk back.
Okay, so if I'm Hinton, do you give him the football
Go right
again?
back.
Yeah, I mean, we just took 6 away from him.
Well, those are times, too, and I'm sure this young man is going to get plenty more options, but even the family and the parents up top, too, as excited as they are, and then don't see the yellow flag.
Well, let's see what they'll do now. It'll be 1st and 10 after the touchdown taken away. They will give it off to Hinton, and Hinton riding inside the 20 to about the 11, maybe 12. Really a very quick offense going now for the Cougars.
Well, you saw a little bit of that in the second half, but I think that was more that they were trying to play with the little bit of clock that they had, not certainly a situation here, so they're showing some urgency.
Dallas Freeman this time will look to throw. Near sideline, ball is going to be dropped in and out of the hands there of Boston Willard. He's a couple of drops tonight.
Yeah, and he's had 2 of them, but he's also had 2. The first 2 catches that he has was for 52 and 17, both scores. And then he caught one other one and has had 2 drops, and that's one there that I'm sure both him and Freeman would like to have back.
That'll make it 3rd down and 9. Well, I'd love to see their matchup with New Pal and Mount Vernon later on in the year. It's going to happen pretty quick, too, by the way. So many good football teams out of Hancock County. The handoff, and it'll be the big fella once again. Foley breaking tackles and starting to look like Earl Campbell now.
I'm going to say he broke about 4 of them. Great jump cuts on 2 of them, and then like a stiff arm, and fell a little bit forward to be able to pick up about 7.
So 4th down. Cougars definitely at this stage will go for it. I mean, how would you like to have a backup running back that is 6'2", 235 pounds? He stays.
You don't see that a lot of times at the collegiate level.
No.
235 running.
Man.
And with those type of feet.
course, they have a pretty good basketball player over there, Greenfield, as well. And once again, the big fullback up the middle, breaking tackles, and bulls his way to the end zone. Foley, the touchdown from 12 yards out. Flags are down after the touchdown.
I think that was for a little celebration in the end zone as he did his version of a spike that it looked like.
You know, I can go before Earl Campbell and go back to Larry Zonka. I'm really dating myself now. Yeah, I'm proving mine very old. 36-8. Score will stand, I do believe, and they'll give us an indication if it was a celebration. That'll happen on the kickoff.
Here comes the call. Yeah, and it is unsportsmanlike. I think it was for his version of a spike after the celebration, if you will, for a banging and bruising run up the middle, which takes it to 42-8, and going for the extra point attempt. You know, every time that they've lined up, they've kind of lined up in this offset piece.
There's a name for it. I don't know what it's called, but there is a name.
Well, Michigan, remember, did that. They ran on a single file.
That's right.
And ran out of it. But pinning this extra point, looks like it's good. 43-8.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bertner Electric Incorporated is fully licensed and bonded electrical contractor for your protection. Our electricians are available 24/7 for service calls and specialize in electrical service and storm damage repair. For more information, give us a call today.
Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Officially Human. Their mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and the court. Do your part and practice good sportsmanship. If we don't have officials, we will not play.
Speaking of officials, it's been such a... I haven't heard much of an update last year, but or coming into this calendar year that we're in now. But I know last calendar year there was such a shortage, especially with baseball.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, and certainly hope that that gets changed, pivoted, and that we see more of our younger generation, because it's a great way to give back and an opportunity for a lot of people.
Very short kick, and there will be a return to the outside, and the Hornets going to get excellent field position right here. Nice return.
And, inside the Cougar territory. Look like it's at the 45. It looks like it's going to be 45-yard line being placed.
By the way, that was Lacey Stevens. Well, you know what? If you have any time on your hands, you could maybe become a baseball umpire and get back in the game of baseball, huh?
I'll be a field umpire. I couldn't be behind the plate.
You want to be behind the plate?
No, I don't want any part of that. I played baseball up until my 6th grade year, and I always got nervous standing. I don't know how catchers even operate, let alone an umpire. But no.
You want to think about it first?
Are you a Red Sox fan too? You got Boston Celtics?
No. I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan. But I'm going to kind of change. We got a flag down. Whistle stopping the play here, as we'll see another penalty on Beech Grove. I'm thinking about just changing teams every year and always take the best team. That way I never lose anymore. So after the 5-yard penalty to be first down and 15, Beech Grove their first offensive possession here in the third quarter. Moore will take the snap, little pitch, looking for the end around, and it goes nowhere. They're going to lose yardage. A flag is down. That was Lacey Stevens on the end around, and we've got a holding penalty also on Beech Grove. So they get the loss of yardage back to about the 45-yard line. You know, I wouldn't mind being a baseball umpire. I am a licensed basketball official, but the only problem is when they play in the heat. It's really hot out there. I don't like being in the
We get a
hot
little
like
bit of
that.
coolness tonight.
Yeah, it'd be great tonight. And especially, like you said, if you're behind the plate and you got all that equipment on and it's 95 degrees. And
A couple of scores with SRN games. Triton Central Batesville locked at 14, and the last score we had was Heritage 28, Covenant 0.
Lee bounces to the outside. He takes a hard hit, gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. Yeah, I think he was the one to put the hard hit on, and we got an injured player now for Greenfield Central. Want to remind you, wall-to-wall sports news every day, high school, college, pro sports. We have it all. Check it out on IndianaSRN.org and click on the sports page tab. Stay informed each and every day, all season long. And also want to thank Indiana Labor's District Council, 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Labor's District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are La Una. We'll take a timeout as well. 43-8 Greenfield Central.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bertner Electric Incorporated is fully licensed and bonded electrical contractor for your protection. Our electricians are available 24/7 for service calls and specialize in electrical service and storm damage repair. For more information, give us a call today.
Boy, Lee runs so hard that if you're a defensive back, you're going to take the brunt of that blow right there, and Lee able to get it all the way back to the 45-yard line. A little play action pass. Ball's going to be knocked down. If that was picked off, that might have been a pick six there for number 22, Cody Smith.
Another score coming in, South Putt, who's number one in 1A Speedway, deadlocked with him at 14.
Uh-oh. Usually we don't hear about an upset Friday until later in the season.
Yeah,
but
especially
we might,
on week one.
Yeah, we might have one or two tonight.
Could be brewing.
Fourth down now for Beech Grove as they will have it at the 45, but not until we get a timeout. 6:13 remaining here in the third. 43-8 Cougars.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with.
After the timeout, the low snap, and another mistake for Beech Grove on their punting unit. By the way, we have an update. Cathedral leading Ben Davis 24-0 in the third quarter. Number one, Ben Davis, already in trouble here early. So that is the third time we have seen now Beech Grove mess up their punt attempt. Pike leading Zionsville 24-0. Handoff and back in the ball game will be Benavente. He'll get to about the 36. You know, the good news is you don't write like a doctor. I can actually read your handwriting. Noblesville and Mount Vernon. Noblesville 36, Mount Vernon 10. Handoff once again up the middle to Benavente, and then he breaks it to the outside, and the touchdown looks like it's actually going to be number 0, Cooper Hinton. Nice fake up the middle to Benavente, and then Hinton able to score from 35 yards out. And that makes it 49-8. That's a great play there for Greenfield Central.
Well, and it goes to show not only that play, but what we've seen a lot more at the end of the first half, as well as this third quarter, has been their ground game. They're a team that averaged about 260 yards on the ground last year, and they're showing why. They got really like a four-headed monster between, what they have in terms of Benavente and Hinton and Foley, and they've got a lot of guys that can run them in there, not to mention what they have done even through the air, not so much tonight, but what they've done in the past with Freeman.
Trable getting a workout tonight, puts it through the uprights, and it's 50-8 here in the third.
Piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements, top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com. Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
By the way, you can help us put more student athletes on the internet by logging on to IndianaSRN.org and direct your donation to a specific school and hit that donate button. More games means more opportunity for the student athletes. Indiana SRN, where you always have a front row seat. So Beech Grove will get it back. Lee is deep. Lacey Stevens deep as well. We'll try to update you on some of those scores once again. I know you've been feverishly writing those down, and I don't want to waste your effort here, okay?
You're good.
If it was me writing them down, you'd be in trouble because you can't read my handwriting. From the 10 is Lee. Lee, great speed to the outside, and he'll be brought down across the 30. Nice return again for Jeremiah Lee.
Yeah, it's just been about 20 yards, and he's been a big bright spot for Beech Grove here tonight, and certainly will be for the remainder of the season. And trying to see what other ways that you can get him, the ball. I mean, whether it's in the flat out of the backfield, whether it's lining him up at the H and getting some little quick hitches or something with some slants. And this is a young man that's really a special talent, quite athletic, can really learn how to make guys miss, and has been, again, a bright spot here for the Hornets tonight.
First down and 10 football at the 31. Be a running clock here in the rest of this contest. Stack to the left, pitch to Lee. Lee finding a nice hole over the left side across the 35 to the 36. You have Fishers leading North Central. The Panthers continue to struggle in the football department. They think they've lost like 22 in a row.
Yeah, and Pike up on Zionsville 24-0. The big note is how Lebanon was down by 3, 21-24. Has put up 14 unanswered, and now leads Pendleton Heights 35-24. So that's a big change, and Chittard leading above 30-20.
So Bishop Chittard making that jump from one class to the next. More to throw, and this will be, I believe, caught far side, or did he drop it? Looks like he did drop it, or it hit the turf, one of the two. Pass intended, I believe, for number 11 there, Cordell Martin, who's been busy tonight. So again, with the running clock, even an incomplete pass will not stop the clock. Only penalties and timeouts, I do believe, here in the mercy rule in high school football. Stack left, 4 receivers. Man in motion, the pitch around the right side. That'll be Stevens, and here comes that swarming defense, and Stevens able actually to make something positive out of that. Looked like he was going to get dropped for some big-time yards.
Yeah, I mean, looked up here about 5 to 7 yards, broke a few tackles, and got what was almost back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like it actually did. Just got right back to it, but brings up 4th down.
Be a big win there for Guerin. McCutcheon in a higher class, if not, I think they're a 5A, are they not? Guerin is a 3A.
3A.
That'd be a big win there for Guerin. But it looks like Bishop Chittard, of course, their quarterback coming back. As we got another timeout here. Their quarterback who backed up Aiden Ortega last year, I thought was as good as Ortega.
Yeah.
So he's pretty good. Want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. If you'd like more information on coverage, give them a call at 317-894-7000. And also Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else for delicious food? Because if you're looking for an amazing, fresh food and servers that genuinely care about their service, you've got to try Aspen Creek Grill. So again, amazing fresh food, servers that genuinely care about their service. You will not be disappointed in Aspen Creek Grill in Noblesville. So following the timeout, it'll be 4th down and 7. This has been a tough night tonight for the punting unit. Now Lee has come back out on the field. He'll be the receiver on this outside area. Let's keep an eye on him. A low snap. And able to get rid of it will be Fonseca. Ball will take a bounce, and picking it up at the last second. And that's a dangerous, dangerous play on special teams for Greenfield Central. Number 19, once again, James Leary has been the receiving end of that all night long. Under a minute to go here in the 3rd. So Greenfield's going to open up with a win here tonight. Very convincing win as they will continue to impress. Of course, we mentioned 3 of the 5 teams in 4A are from Hancock County. So 1st down and 10, and if I am not mistaken, we have a new quarterback in. That'll be McCoy Wilson, number 21. And the handoff up the middle, not much there. And now on the carry that time will be Dylan Barngrover, a sophomore, and that's going to end the 3rd quarter. We'll head to the 4th, all Cougars 50-8.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with the blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there is just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Clean Slate. You can find your future in the cloud. They're a technology consulting firm specializing in custom-built, modern applications and products that deliver greater agility, faster speed to innovation, and the resiliency to handle whatever the future throws your way. For more information on Clean Slate, give them a call at 866-885-3249. So we're ready. In fact, we're going to see a lot of new faces in for Greenfield Central here in the 4th quarter. snap will be fumbled by the new quarterback, McCoy Wilson.
Well, these are types of scenarios that, you got to love as a coach to give not only the opportunities for guys that aren't going to get as many reps, but you get some meaningful ones in, but you also can get your starters that are getting the majority of the reps off the field. Outside of the one injury that they had just a bit ago on the kick return, other than that, I think they escaped both these teams without injuries that we've seen tonight. But you get some guys on the field that might not get that, and just makes your team that much better to get these meaningful reps.
3rd down and 11 on the carry will be the quarterback, Wilson. We were having a discussion on who wore number 21 a long time ago in the NFL. John Hadel wore number 21 for the Chargers. See, I'm even predating you on that one, aren't I?
You did. I didn't. Yeah, didn't have that one.
No further explanation needed, huh?
Got me thinking Lance Allsworth, which I knew he played receiver, but he began to make me think that did I miss something? And he played some quarterback as well.
So I had 4th down and 9. Might be the first time
we've seen the punter. I was just getting ready to say the same thing, which as a coaching staff you gotta love.
Yeah.
But as a punter you don't.
No, not at all. Cooper Hinton, and we've got a delay of game penalty here. Moving back 5 to the 33-yard line.
Oh.
Get that ball! One thing for sure, the punting units have been
He could have punted.
brutal. There you go.
It's Australian rules.
And a Greenfield Central
Oh,
player.
he's hurt. Cramp.
Well, he picked it up, by the way, and started to run, which you can't do that. And yes.
Glad to see it's just a cramp.
He's probably thinking, I should not have kicked that while I was on the run.
Or at least it looks like a cramp.
Hey, I want to remind you, tonight's game brought to you in part by Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. If you'd like to volunteer, like more information, give them a call at 317-686-6239. And an injury timeout there for Cooper Hinton.
It's a little surprising to get some cramps on a cooler night like this, but it does happen.
We'll take a timeout at 9:26 to go in the 4th.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
I want to remind you, don't forget, we will begin our soccer high school coverage tomorrow. We will have 2 games for you. Beginning at 1:30 and 3:30 will be a Bishop Chittard, Heritage Christian, Bishop Chittard, both games right here on IndianaSRN.org. And the player down is Cooper Hinton, who was trying to punt the football away on the run. And boy, Coach, you almost think that at this stage he's looking like it is a cramp, but they're really working on that left leg, though. The one he planted to kick with the right leg.
Well, it makes you wonder, too, is that when he planted and kicked, did he take a hit at that time, or did he go down on his own? But it's not just the trainers out there, but there's a couple coaches as well, so it might be something that's a little bit more concerning than just a cramp. But keep an eye on this and hope that he's able to get up on his own power.
All right, we'll take another timeout while they continue to work on Cooper Hinton right here on IndianaSRN.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with the blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
The injured player Cooper Hinton assisted off the field. Now he is still being looked at. Well, I hope he's okay. You hate to lose a young man like that,
especially this early.
I think he's going to be okay. He's out now walking. If you ever get one of those cramps, as Beech Grove will have the football, and on the carry here in the near side is Saul Hernandez. He'll go down a loss of yardage. I never get them when or even when I played. I'd always get them when I'm laying in bed. Isn't that weird? You kind of turn over, and the next thing you know, you get one in your back of your thigh. You ever get one of those?
Yeah, the worst one, but they're all none of them are really that good. But the worst ones as a kid I used to get was the toe cramps in the swimming pool.
Okay. Yep.
Those were killers. But yeah, none of them feel that good.
No. So the clock continues to tick under the 9-minute mark. By the way, new quarterback is in. That is going to be Manny Brandon now for Beech Grove. Saul Hernandez on the carry inside the 40 to about the 37. By the way, next week, as we have another injured player now for Beech Grove, next week, Greenfield Central take on Greensburg, a team that they beat last year 57-0. And then in week 3, they travel to Mount Vernon. They won that game last year 41-35. And for this Beech Grove football team, they'll have to go to Jennings County and then to Speedway in their next 2 games. So home game and on the road for 2. We do have a couple of other scores we can pass along tonight. Maryville, number 20 in the state, overall, leading Andrean 14-0. St. Xavier out of Ohio leading Floyd Central 56-14 in the 4th. Greensburg is losing at Shelbyville 29-14. Tindley over Edinburgh 18-8. They're in the 3rd quarter. Also high school football tonight, Speedway and is it South
Putnam?
Putnam 14-all. And that's the latest score we have there. Ron Colley leading Southport 34-13. Cascade over Indian Creek 21-10. By the way, this is a final. Bluffton beat Fort Wayne Blackhawk 39-6. We're starting to see a few of the finals coming in, and Guerin leading McCutcheon in the 3rd 22-10. Looks like the injured player is up, and that's going to be Saul Hernandez, who had the carry.
A game that you talked about earlier, 60-0 at half, is now at 80-0.
Ouch.
That's Northeastern over Union County.
That clock can't run fast enough, can it?
So here's a trivia. You gave one earlier about the quarterback for the Chargers. Do you know the mascot name or the nickname for the Andrean High School?
59ers?
There we go. Yeah, most won't. 59ers. It's a unique one.
Kind of looking for that Warren Central score. Throwing the catch near side, shy of the first down. We had a request to see if we could find that one. Do not see it yet.
Good job, Bob.
If you find it, let me know, will you?
Yeah, interesting enough, you got the big rival game with the 2 Lawrence schools, Lawrence North, Lawrence Central, first game of the year. kind of different too. Usually have those much later in the year.
Brandon to throw, ball tipped, almost intercepted. It falls incomplete on 4th down. We're kind of scanning through some of these scores here to see if we can.
Westfield's beaten Center Grove after halftime, 27-21. What an interesting week one it would be when you have Ben Davis and Center Grove losing in week one.
Yeah.
That would be a little different, wouldn't it?
By the way, the last score we have of Warren Central, no score in the 3rd quarter, 0-0 with Fort Wayne Snyder. Welcome to night one, huh? That 80-0 kind of has a ring to it. We're under the 7-minute mark. And there'll be some movement up front there by Braden Cruz of Beech Grove. That'll be a penalty on the Hornets. So the penalty will be marked off. And again, a reminder, if you do not get or want to stay up late tonight, we'll have scores for you very early tomorrow morning on the sports page. I don't know about you. I used to be able to stay up as the ball is carried up the middle and we've got a scrum across the 45 to the 47. I used to be able to stay up and get those scores, but at my age now, I can't do that anymore.
Can't stay up late enough.
You eat dinner at 4:30, go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
And I thought I was early at 10.
Well, wait.
Well, when you do, 700 games a year like you're doing, guess you probably do need a little bit of sleep, Troy.
Well, I've cut back a little bit. It's only 600 now. So, by the way, there's some movement again, and we have flags going down. I believe it's going to be on the Cougars, and it is. Of course, next week, as we mentioned, 5 games, and we'll be bringing you one of the best games in the state, and that'll be that Brownsburg Cathedral game. There'll be a lot of eyes on that up at Marian University. So the handoff up the middle, and it'll be Barngrover once again, the sophomore. 6 foot, 155. A lot of youngsters getting a chance to play here late in this one as we're under the 5-minute mark. Of course, things will start to shake up a little bit with, like you said a little bit ago, some of the teams that have maybe losing tonight. Center Grove, Ben Davis, and Ben Davis getting beat handily by Cathedral. I wonder when the last time is Ben Davis got shut out.
Yeah, no, I mean, both sides, you would have expected that both those teams probably would have been in minimum 20s, which Cathedral is. But, yeah, to do that against the defending state champions is quite the incredible feat. I don't care if it is week one or not.
Yeah. Well, in Cathedral, new quarterback O'Neill's out in San Diego. Here, he's in for a starting job out there with the Aztecs.
Really?
Yeah. As a true freshman. So 3rd down and 7. Quarterback turns to hand it off. Nobody was there. So McCoy Wilson on the keeper. Looked like Joe Parker may have missed the call on that one. So on 4th down, here comes the punting unit, I do believe, here for the Cougars. I want to remind you that Coach Cox will be anxiously heading to his phone later to get on the air with Bob Lovell on Indiana Sports Talk and tell everybody about this contest. We'll look forward to hearing you later this evening.
There you go. Putting me out there, aren't you?
By the way, Cooper Hinton.
Now nobody's going to listen.
Listen, if it makes you feel any better, I will.
Call. You're
Okay,
going to
let me know when you're calling in, and then I can tune in about that time, okay?
It might be past your bedtime.
Probably, well.
Coach Lovell goes to sleep early, too. No guy.
31 years he's been doing
he's
that.
He's a late night. One longest radio talk show in the state running.
I was
a great man.
Program director at the station in Richmond that got him on at that time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. We had a lot of long conversations back then. And you're always wondering if you can get a show like that going, and they were very successful because everybody kind of had their own back then. You know, you'd go back and listen to the hometown station on the carry there by Brandon. Is you'd go home and everybody did their own thing. We did our own thing as well, but then when you figured you could consolidate and just do one, everybody kind of went to that direction. I don't even remember who was doing it for us back 31 years ago. Wasn't me, but we had somebody doing it. That's a lot of phone calls in 31 years.
It takes, yeah, absolutely.
So it'll be 2nd down and 12. Manny Brandon is a junior at 5'8", 165. Handoff left side. This will be Nate Ruth, just a freshman. We'll get your final thoughts here in just a little bit on this one here tonight, but a good start for Greenfield Central. A couple of things I know they'll work on getting ready for next week's game and try not to look too far ahead to Mount Vernon. One thing about Mount Vernon, we understand that their quarterback, Ertl, isn't playing this year.
Correct, yeah, I had heard that.
The injury that he suffered last year got into his basketball season, so he's decided not to play. So their offense will look a little bit different without him, and they played most of the year without him last year. Low snap. Here comes the rush, and sacked way back will be Manny Brandon, back to about the 30-yard line. And that's going to be the final play of this one here tonight. Give me your thoughts on what you saw here this evening.
Well, I think the execution side and the balance that the Cougars did, as well as what we talked about earlier with the O-line, D-line, just established their presence very early on. Were relentless pursuit of the quarterback, and I mean, it's one of those things where you're going to have some growing pains when you make that decision to start a freshman quarterback, but those are things that he'll learn. This is a team that will continue to get better when you have a guy at the helm that's so young and that you got a lot of room to work with. And can't speak enough about Jeremiah Lee and the special talent that he is. Certainly was the bright spot here tonight for the Hornets. And you know, I think for the most part there was a couple minor injuries. Both players seemed to go off the field under their own power. So I think from that standpoint, got to like that. Again, it's week one, and a lot of football to be played, and certainly wish the best of luck for both seasons.
Want to remind you that tonight's game has been brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is a leading equipment dealer since 1955. Passion to care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. Also by Boilermaker Local 374, where they represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction as well as metal fabrication in the state of Indiana. Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. Bertner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. The Morales Group, we're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Northwestern Mutual, inspiring people to repeatedly take action on their financial goals. Indiana Labor's District Council, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Labor's District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. And the IndianaSRN sports page. Follow the sports page daily with updated sports news coast to coast. Go to IndianaSRN.org and check on the tab on the sports page. Next week, Greenfield Central will take on Greensburg at Greenfield, and for Beech Grove, they will be on the road at Jennings County. Thanks again to our entire crew tonight. Your final score here from Beech Grove at Veterans Stadium. Greenfield Central picks up the win over Beech Grove, the final 58. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time on Indiana SRN.